being around for 50 years means we've been through a multitude of cycles. We've been through the ups, we've been through the downs, we've survived the Great Recession, we've weathered a whole bunch of different scenarios. And so I actually think that in and of itself lends a different level of credibility that helps our customers know that they can trust us.
Welcome to Powerhouse, where we interview the biggest names in housing and ask them about their strategy for growth. My name is Diego Sanchez, president of HousingWire, and my guest today is Elizabeth Emmons, CMO of Radian. Elizabeth, it's so great to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
It's so great to have you on. Before we dive in, could you share a little bit about your role at Radian and how your career path there has shaped your perspective on the company's mission?
Yeah, so as the CMO of Radian, I'm responsible for marketing, which is, everybody probably expects that. It's also communications. So it's our internal communications, which is a source of passion for us. And it really does relate to our company's mission and sharing that with our employees. And it's also the philanthropic efforts that we do. And so for me, when I joined the company, we've always been on this mission for 50 years of making homeownership affordable, responsible, and sustainable. And I'm always drawn to an anecdote. I know there's skepticism of whether or not it's a true story or not, but it's the old story of JFK visiting NASA. And he asked a janitor what he did for a living. And his answer was, I'm helping to put somebody on the moon. And I think for us and our employees, the mission of helping to make homeownership possible for people, it's a source of pride. It's a source of pride for me, for them, and it really connects our employees to our deeper purpose. And so for us, it's a focus in everything that we do and really shapes our company's mission for our products, our services, and even the way we interact with our customers.
I love that mission so much. It's very similar to HousingWire's mission, actually. Why is breaking down those barriers to homeownership such an urgent priority right now? And where do you see the most opportunity as a company to make meaningful progress?
Yeah, it's, when I think about it, it's almost like there's this trifecta that's working against first-time home buyers right now. When I was looking at the statistics from the USMI National Homeownership Survey, 58% of the respondents were saying it's much harder to buy a home right now. Why is that? It's stuff that your listeners already know. It's the higher home prices. It's interest rates. It's down payment. Down payment is almost the forever challenge. I don't care how long you've been in this industry. Trying to save for a down payment has just historically always been the most number one challenging obstacle to affording a home. And so when we think about the statistics that a teacher, a firefighter, others, it takes 2 decades to save for a down payment. For us in the space of our company and the products and services that we offer, we see it as this vicious cycle where people are perpetually stuck in this loop of I'm trying to save, but homes keep costing more. And it really makes the dream feel out of reach. And so for us, I think right now it's the urgent priority is how can we better help make people aware of the options that are available to them. It's always fascinating to me. For as long as I've been in this industry, there are still facets of people who don't understand that private mortgage insurance is available to them. And I remember sitting in a doctor's office one day watching a very well-known TV show about buying a home. And the person was saying how you're required to put 20% down. And I almost screamed in the doctor's office of how can you, with your influence, say that? So I think for us, it's about using our partnerships with our customers, with industry trade associations to help get the word out there. And the other piece of it, too, that really resonates for me and why it's so important is I'm always fascinated by the fact, too, that the dream feels out of reach, but then people achieve it and they almost feel disenfranchised with it. And I find that so disheartening when I hear it, because for Radian, we're always focused on affordable responsible, and sustainable homeownership. And it's that sustainable part that also comes into play with the cost of homeownership, like just replacing a roof, maintaining a home becoming so important. How do we help people understand that having an option like private mortgage insurance could even help them preserve their savings so that they can maintain the home the way they need to? So there's a lot of factors in there that I think are making it so much more important for us to stay focused on it, not just for Radian, but as an industry in general.
How do we dispel that myth that you need a 20% down payment to get into a house?
I wish there was like a secret sauce to that. We kind of joke, should we just do a Super Bowl ad? Would that let everybody know that it's an option? But in all seriousness, I think for us, it's a matter of just continually working with our customers who are really the face of the industry to a consumer and helping give them the information they need to pass along and get the word out there. I think it's also about engaging with the various other audiences, partners like you and others, where people go to for trusted sources of content and information to let people know that there is this option out there. And we heavily rely on our trade association, USMI, to help get the word out as well.
So Radian is really known for mortgage insurance, but you've moved well beyond that with your product offering. How do your different business lines work together to achieve that mission and make homeownership more accessible?
Yeah, so for us, I mean, we're coming up on our 50th anniversary, and I was looking back at the presentation of when our company was created, and I actually made a note here for myself. It was the line we had was that Radian would be a perpetual source of new ideas and new solutions. It will generate creative energy to change the MI industry. And so for us, I think everything we do is really focused on how we can best support our customers. And so when we think about that, MI is fundamental because it helps alleviate and help tackle the number one barrier to homeownership, which is down payments. But we've expanded into areas that complement MI, where we can leverage our mortgage and credit risk expertise. And so, yes, title insurance and closing services, correspondent lending with our mortgage conduit, real estate services that includes valuations and diligence services. And so for us, it's a matter of how can we more holistically participate in the housing industry. And by doing so, it gives us this unique picture and perspective of the industry that is unmatched, quite candidly, from our perspective. So it uniquely informs our perspective that we can help benefit our customers. We've created strong relationships. And so I think by having that well-rounded view, we know that trust runs deep with us. And so having those consultative relationships with our customers, being innovative, all of those hallmarks really help us expand and give them the tools they need to be successful and help drive homeownership forward as well.
So being CMO of a multi-business line company can be challenging when it comes to strategizing and prioritizing. What are your priorities across all these business lines when it comes to marketing to your customers and prospects?
Yeah, for us, because our customers are really the face to consumers, we're here to help them do their jobs. So if we can't do our job well, then it makes it hard for them to do theirs, and they need confidence in that. So whether it's marketing, you asked me about marketing, but for my priority, it's how I partner and my team partners with our sales team so that no matter what we're doing, it's all about how we can add value to our customers. How do we help them do their jobs better? It means giving them information, sharing our perspective, industry insights, general knowledge and expertise, so that at every step of our business, we're offering something that a touch point has meaning. It's not a waste of their time to engage with us. So the first and foremost priority for us is always how we can partner with our sales team to deliver that kind of value at every touch point to our customers.
Who are your customers?
Who are our customers? It almost feels like with all those business lines, who aren't our customers? So we work quite heavily with mortgage originators. We support servicers. We support investors looking to insure. Oh, sorry. We For an investment audience, we focus on helping them support their investment in single family residential properties. So for us, it's almost when we look at the broad market, to your point earlier, there are so many people that we need to support that for us, drilling down into it and looking within each individual role actually ends up becoming more beneficial for us.
So trust is so essential in the home buying and home selling transaction. It's such a big purchase for people. For most people, the biggest financial decision of their lives. How does Radian create confidence with your customers, the housing professional, and their consumers that they're trying to serve?
Yeah, it's something. Trust is earned. I mean, I think that's something we've learned. Everybody knows that, but it's something that we've earned over 50 years of being in business. And I think for us, being around for 50 years means we've been through a multitude of cycles. We've been through the ups, we've been through the downs, we've survived the Great Recession, we've weathered a whole bunch of different scenarios. And so I actually think that in and of itself lends a different level of credibility that helps our trust customers know that they can trust us. And we don't just meet them where they are or look at the challenges that have historically been in the industry, but we use all of that knowledge and expertise to say, how can we anticipate future concerns or issues that we can meet and help our customers address? So I think by doing all of that, that trust and that confidence, the various products and services that we have, that broader perspective we have of the industry as the result, you combine that with our mortgage and credit risk expertise. And for us, it means confidence in ideating with us. And so that is something where when we work with our customers and they know that if they need candid feedback or insights on how to move their business forward, they can do that and it's proven out. It's not just throwing the next buzzword of AI out there. It's the technology, it's the innovation with that, but it's also the deep expertise and knowledge that we bring to the market that is an important aspect of building and maintaining that trust. If the technology fails, you need to trust the people behind the technology. And I think that's a hallmark of our brand.
So it's been a little bit of a tricky housing market for the past couple of years. How do you partner with your customers to help them create opportunity in a challenging housing market?
Yeah, so I think when that's really where our sales team shines. I think that consultative nature in the way that they approach their work, that they're not just there trying to sell their customers a widget. They really want to dive in. And I hear that conversation across every facet of our various sales teams. How can they dig in? How can they help them identify solutions and opportunities for our customers to drive their business forward? It sounds cliche. I know everybody says it, but when I see it's proven out. When I think about our real estate services business, they created the diligence space. I mean, we've changed pricing models in our MI business. We've changed the way you think about how to approach title insurance even. And so for us, I think that's the way that we go about it. It really is that consultative approach that our sales team takes in building that strong relationship, which is why we have the trust in our company that we do from our customers.
Yeah, imagine in that partnership based sales approach, you're always seeking feedback from your customers and prospects. How do you bring that feedback in and have it inform your marketing strategy, the product development strategy, the overall business strategy?
I think the way we're effective with that is the very collaborative nature of our company. So for us, we have to be cognizant of the fact that we run a multitude of business lines that need to function, and bringing those insights back from a marketing perspective of what our title team might be hearing versus our real estate team. those things are important to us. But I think it's truly that collaborative approach that we take in marketing, needing to work hand in hand in our relationship with our sales team. It can't be a marketing versus sales. This is a true collaboration where they need to be giving us and trust us to take the insights that they get and apply that to our marketing. We need to take the marketing that we do and be sharing back the results of what we see in the engagement so they know what's resonating with their customers. And so again, I just go back to so many times you hear in organizations, it's the sales versus marketing. And for us, it's really that collaboration of recognizing that we have to work hand in hand with sales very collaboratively in order to make that effective.
So my sense from this conversation is that Radian is a very mission and values oriented company. If there's one thing that you want our listeners to take away about Radian's impact and vision for the future, what do you hope that is?
I think for me, it's really making sure they understand that when we say creating possibilities for a place to call home, that's kind of a slogan for us, but it's indicative, I think, of this industry at large. And so when I talk to people at conferences, a lot of people didn't come into this like grow up thinking they were going to be a loan officer or work in the mortgage industry. They came into it. But many of us, we have this passion for making that possibility of a place to call home real. And so we're on this journey with them that we have a full picture of the industry. We have trust, we innovate. But I think the most important piece is that we'll always be that indispensable partner for them that's on the journey with them to accomplish this, just like that relationship we build internally between sales and marketing.
Elizabeth, what a great conversation we just had. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.